Hi, good morning, students. Yesterday we reached that the Taro he chopped the wood faster than he doing every day. ഒന്നും ചെയ്യുന്നതിനേക്കാളും faster ആയിട്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ തുടങ്ങി. Okay. So yesterday we reached there on the fourth paragraph. Okay. Then today we are going to start from fifth. Then suddenly Taro stopped chopping. Taro suddenly he stopped the chopping. What was that sound he heard? So he heard a sound. So he asked in his mind, what was that the sound he heard? What was that sound which he heard? He asked himself. Could it be? Could it be anything sound? He asked. Could it possibly be rushing water? So he asked in his mind that could it possibility have there any possibility to be that sound of a rushing water? Rushing means coming fast. Could it be a sound of a coming fastly of a water? പെട്ടെന്ന് വരുന്ന ഫാസ്റ്റ് വരുന്ന വെള്ളത്തിൻ്റെ ശബ്ദമാണോ ഈ മൈൻഡ്? Taro could not remember ever seeing or hearing a rushing stream in part of the forest. Taro could not remember, so he could not remember ever seeing or hearing a rushing stream. Rushing stream means fastly flowing waterfall. Fastly ഒഴുകുന്ന waterfall. So he or hearing of a fastly flowing waterfall in that part of the forest. He was thirsty. So he was thirsty because he chopped more and more. So he became thirsty and he sweat. അദ്ദേഹം വിയർത്ത് ആകെ ദാഹിച്ചിരുന്നു. So he was thirsty. The axe dropped out. Dropped out means avoided. So the axe dropped out of his hands. So he avoided the axe from his hand, and he ran in the direction of the sound. And he ran to the direction of that sound because he was very thirsty. So he wanted to be free from that thirst. ദാഹം അകറ്റാൻ അദ്ദേഹം ഉദ്ദേശിച്ചിരുന്നു. Okay. Taro saw a beautiful little waterfall hidden behind a rock. Taro saw a beautiful little waterfall. So he saw a little beautiful waterfall hidden behind a rock, and he was very thirsty. So he wanted water to drink. And kneeling at a place where the water flowed quietly. Kneeling, who kneeled, kneel means മുട്ടുകുത്തുക. Kneeling, who kneeled, Taro kneeling at the place, on the place where the water flowed quickly. Where the water is flowed quietly, not quietly, okay? Where the water flowed quietly. So the water is flowing quietly, ശാന്തമായിട്ട് ഒഴുകുന്ന ഒരു വാട്ടർ ആയിരുന്നു. So he kneeled in that place, അവിടെ മുട്ടുകുത്തി. He cupped a little. Cupped means that its meaning is given on the side of your textbook. Look, cupped a little on his hand means took some water in his hand as if in a cup. So he make his hand as a cup. Cup ആക്കിയിട്ട് എന്ത് ചെയ്തു? He cupped a little in his hand. So he took some water by making his hand as a cup in his hand and put it to his lip his hand to his lips. Was it water? അത് വെള്ളമായിരുന്നു. Or was it sake? Or it was a sake or sake. എന്തായിരുന്നത്? What was that one? He tasted it again and again. So he tasted that water again and again. And always it was a delicious sake. So it was a delicious sake instead of a cold water. Firstly he thought that it was a cold water, but it was a sake instead of a cold water. ഒരു cold waterന് പകരം അത് delicious ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു sake ആയിരുന്നു. So he became amazed and he surprised. Taro quickly filled the pitcher means, all of you know, pitcher means the bottle which he was carrying with him. Look that picture. In his shoulder there hanging a pot made with mud. That is the pitcher. A pot usually made of mud. Okay. Taro quickly filled the pitcher means Taro filled his that pot with that water which was with him. Okay. He had with him and hurried home, and he went fastly. He hurried to his home. The old man was delighted with this sight. The old man means his father was delighted. Was delighted means great pleasure, വലിയ സന്തോഷം. So his father, the old man, was very happy, in great happy with that sight. After only one swallow of liquid, he stopped shivering and did a little dance in the middle of the floor. After only one swallow, all of you know, വീങ്ങുക, ഒരു ഇറുക്ക് എന്നൊക്കെ അർത്ഥം. One pass through the throat. So after only one swallow of the liquid, he stopped shivering. Shiver means to shake. So his father stopped shivering and did a little dance. He danced a little in the middle of the floor, on the middle of the floor. That afternoon of that day, a neighbor stopped by for a visit. A neighbor of Taro stopped by. Stopped means came. A visit came as a visitor in their home. ഒരു വിസിറ്റർ എന്നുള്ള നിലക്ക് അവരുടെ വീട്ടിൽ വന്നു. Taro's father politely offered. So Taro's father, that old father, politely offered. He offered politely her a cup of shake, a cup of that drink, that special drink. The lady drank it greedily. So this lady drank that greedily and thanked the old man. So she felt a special delicious for in this shake, in this drink. ഇതിൽ വല്ല സ്പെഷ്യൽ തോന്നി. So thanked the old man. So she thanked she thanked very much for this old man. Then the Taro told her the story of the magic waterfall. So Taro told the wonderful magic story to their neighbor, means for the visitor, to that lady, thanking them for the delicious drink. So by thanking to Taro and his family, that neighbor left in a hurry, left their home very fastly. By nightfall, by coming the night, രാത്രി ആകുമ്പോഴേക്കും, she had spread. This neighbor, this visitor had spread, അവൾ പരത്തിയിരുന്നു the story throughout the whole village. This story of this magic waterfall. She told the story of this magic waterfall all over the village. That evening there was a long procession. Procession means Ghosha I gave you its English meaning, okay? So write that in your notebook. That evening, so on that evening, there was a long procession. There was a long crowd and a long people, a long row of the people at the Taro's home. Procession of visitors to the woodcutter's house. To the house of woodcutter means Taro. Each man heard the story of the waterfall. So each man who came there, they heard the story of this waterfall and took a sip of the shake. Sip means iruk. So all of them took a sip of the shake of this magic waterfall, this magic drink. In less than an hour, the pitcher was empty. In less than an hour, ഒരു മണിക്കൂറിനുള്ളിൽ തന്നെ, the pitcher was empty. This pot became empty. Next, the next 10th. On the next day, അടുത്ത ദിവസം താരോ നേരത്തെ പോകാൻ വിചാരിച്ചു. ബിക്കോസ് ഹി തോട്ട് ദാറ്റ് അവനെത്തുന്നതിന് മുമ്പ് ജനങ്ങൾ അവിടെ എത്തിയാൽ എല്ലാവരും അത് കൊണ്ടുപോകുമെന്ന്. Who thought? Taro thought. So, next morning, Taro started for work. Taro started for the work even earlier than the morning before. He carried with him the largest pitcher. So he carried with him the largest pitcher, means the largest pot. He owned so many pot, ധാരാളം പോട്ടുകൾ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. So he carried the largest pitcher, means the largest pot with him. തനിക്ക് ഓൺ ചെയ്തിരുന്ന വലിയ പോട്ട് അദ്ദേഹം എടുത്തു. For he intended the first of all to go to the waterfall. Intended means he wanted. For he wanted first of all to go to the waterfall. എല്ലാവരും പോകുന്നതിന് മുമ്പ് അവിടെ പോകാൻ he wanted to go firstly before all of them are going to the waterfall. When he reached near of that waterfall, he found to his great surprise all his neighbors there. When he reached near of that waterfall, he found to his great surprise. So he found there a great surprise. What was the? All his neighbors there. All of his neighbors reached there. They were carrying pitchers. So all of them came there by carrying the pitchers, means carrying the pot, jars, buckets, and all things. They came there by carrying these all things. Anything they could find to hold the magic shake. What they carried all thing, anything they could. അവർക്ക് കഴിയുന്നതെല്ലാം അവർ കൊണ്ടുവന്നു. For anything they could find to hold the magic shake, to take that magic shake. ആ magic shake എടുക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി കഴിയുന്നതെല്ലാം അവർ കയ്യിൽ കരുതിയിരുന്നു. Then one villager knelt. Knelt means kneel, മുട്ടുകുത്തുക. Its past is knelt, K-N-E-L-T. Then one villager, son of the villager, he knelt and held his mouth under the waterfall. And he held his mouth under the waterfall because all of them was aware about the deeds of the Taro. മുട്ടുകുത്തിയിട്ടാണ് വെള്ളം കുടിച്ചത് എന്ന് all of them know. So that is why a villager knelt there and he drank and he held his mouth under the waterfall, and he hold, its past is held. So he held his mouth under the waterfall to drink that water. He drank again and again. So he drank that water again and again, and then shouted angrily. But he couldn't special test for that. He couldn't any special test for that water. So he shouted angrily, and he told, "Water, nothing but water. Water, nothing but water. ഒന്നുമില്ല. There have nothing. It is only a water," he told. Others also tried. So all of the other who came there, all of them tried to it, but there was no shake. But it was not any shake there, only cold water. But it was only a cold water. Okay, so I think all of you understood it. Okay, thank you, and ask me the doubts. Okay.